Hey y'all, today we're going to talk a little bit about 2-5-1s. I know I've probably alluded to the 2-5-1 progression in earlier videos, but today I want to delve into it just a little bit, and I want to give you a simple 2-5-1 line and talk about the way that that line works. When it comes to 2-5-1s, they're very prevalent in jazz, and the reason is that they outline the harmony of a particular key really effectively. Another thing that's interesting on 2-5-1s is their progressions based on fourths. Anytime you have motion of fourths with chords or with scales, it's a very natural sounding way of playing through a progression because of the fact that the fourth motion is very common to our ear, and that's the way a lot of cadences work. In the case of jazz, there are 2-5-1s that outline major keys, 2-5-1s that outline minor keys. Sometimes there's minor 2-5s that resolve to major. There's major 2-5s that resolve to minor. Anyway, today I'm going to get through a couple techniques with the 2-5-1. Thanks a lot for sticking around. First off, I'd like to get into the shell voicings using 2-5-1s, and the first key that I would look at would be the key of C. On the key of C, my 2 and 5 are D minor and G7. For my shell voicing, I'm playing the root 7th third, same fingering when I get to G7, and then I have the major 7 here playing C, B, and E. This would be a 5th string root version of my 2-5-1 shell voicings. The 6th string version would feature this A minor 7 here on 5th fret. I'm playing A, G, C. Then I have a shell voicing, which is a root 3rd 7th, D, F sharp, and B. And then that would resolve to G, F sharp, B shell voicing for G major 7. Again, I've got D minor 7, G7, C major 7, A minor 7, D7, G major 7. If I'm creating a loop for these, I'm going to do the same thing I did in an earlier video, that I'm going to put a walking bass note on the 4th beat that's a half step above or below the root note of the next chord. If I did it off my 6-string voicings, it might sound something like this. When I get to the 2-5-1 line that I'm going to show you today, again, I'm going to be outlining the harmony of the chords that I'm playing on. In this case, again, I'm back in the key of C. My 2 chord is a D minor chord, and that's important because I'm going to be outlining these 3 notes of the D minor, the root, the 3rd, and the 5th. When it gets to the G7, I'm going to play a part that's going to outline or target my 3rd, which is B natural. When I resolve on C, I'm going to resolve to the 3rd, which is an E natural. It's also going to feature playing half steps around my chord tone. So when I'm playing the first part of the line, I'm outlining the D minor by using half steps below, and I'm playing up to the A. The A is actually going to be the first beat of the 2nd measure, where I'll be on the G chord. But again, the beginning of my line sounds like this. Second half of the line, I'm starting on A, targeting the B. That means I'm playing A, C, back to A, chromatic up to the B. Then I'm using the rest of the scale to resolve on the E on the C major chord. Again, the second half of the line sounds something like this. 2, 3, and. I'm also going to add slurring and pull-offs or hammer-ons or slides to just make it sound a little bit more lyrical. Also, it helps increase my swing feel because it puts the accents on the upbeats, which is where I want them. A good way to practice this is to take the line as it is, and then either try to play it in fourths because the fingering will be similar, or or at least try to take that line and move it down in whole steps, because of the fact, again, that you might change your fingering a little bit, but it gets you to look at the line a little bit differently. Another important feature to me on 2/5 lines, especially ones like this, is that often you're going to run into 2/5 where you only have 2 beats per chord and maybe 4 beats on the one chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. I would call that a quick 2/5. If I take just the second measure of my phrase with my enclosure, this is a great example of a quick 2/5 that would outline that harmony again and still work in the same exact way. So most every 2/5 line that I work on, I try to find 2 parts to it so that I can have a full line. If I'm playing on a 4-bar 2/5, that would be like 4 beats per chord on the 2 and the 5 and 2 measures on the 1. Or I have a version that I could play on a quick 2/5 with just 2 beats on the 2, 2 beats on the 5, and then maybe 1 bar on the 1 chord. Versus